Bills! National Football Show. Please hit the like button. So, Elon Musk endorses the Republican Party. Not bad for the guy with the biggest megaphone in the world now, Twitter. Yeah. Vote Republican. Oh, my God. You talk about onions on a guy? Dude, man. They're going to come after him. And when you're a G like that, and you got FU money like that, man, it must be nice. Let me just put it to you this way. If you went on a normal radio show and you said that you backed Trump, you'd be fired that day. You'd be fired. If you went on WIP or 97.5 and said you are a MAGA Republican, you'd be fired today. That is what I'm saying. People lose their jobs for picking a side. Told you, man, I vote for America. And it's maybe a cop-out answer, but I'm okay with a cop-out answer. That guy right there can say whatever he feels like it. It's like a playpen for him. Twitter is like a sandbox. This guy's worth $250 billion. You think he gives a shit about somebody in Washington who used to be a person that made martinis? You think he cares? That's incredible. Incredible. No, Xander, it's about Elon. He is a G, man. Dude, that's how these NFL owners think. Dude, you're not going to push us around. We'll tell you exactly what you're going to do and how the league is to be run. When I see people that resemble NFL owners, dude, you can't tell NFL owners what to do. You can't. These billionaire guys, they live here. We live over here. That's why the NFL is in the place it's in. Why do you think the NFL is the number one sports league? You know why? They don't guarantee the contracts except the big guys now, the quarterbacks. The rest of them, they can fire you in 10 seconds, not pay you, half the salary you get. Ridiculous. By the way, Frank Reich fired. Jim Irsay fires him. Xander and I were talking both on what the ramifications that means for Frank. I thought Frank was solid as a coach. I'll tell you this. I've seen guys with lesser records get better jobs the second time around. Look at Josh McDaniel. He was a turd in Denver. He just got a head coaching job in Las Vegas, and they regret it. Frank has a winning record as the head coach of the Colts. He's got a winning record. And now that we find out that this Fruit Loop, who has an ass with Chris Ballard and Frank Reich, because get this, Frank was fired because of what happened with Philly. Frank put his ass on the line for Wentz. He never got over that. And when the Matt Ryan thing fell through, dude, Chris Ballard's fired at the end of the year, the general manager of the joint. Now, let me throw this at you here. If you are the Eagles, would you welcome Frank Reich back in the building? I spoke to Frank. Frank's going to have a lot of options. Would you want Frank back in the building? Remember something here. Frank Reich was an instrumental part of that offense that won that Super Bowl in 2017. Would you want Frank? You know Doug Peterson's going to try to get him down in Jacksonville. And remember something. He's not going to try to outshine Howie, nor would he to Nick Sirianni. He recommended Nick Sirianni to Jeffrey Lurie and to Howie Roseman. You know how we know this? He came on our show, right, Xander, and said it. When they were in the process of moving Wentz and the Eagles started looking for a coach, it was Frank Reich that said, let me say something to you here. Nick Sirianni is a young, brilliant mind. You guys should really take a look at him, interview him, talk to him. He's a really good offensive-minded guy. He's a player's coach. Guys love him. He sold him. Nick, when you guys were not really high on Nick Sirianni being the head football coach of the Eagles, it was Frank Reich, because everyone went like this. Who in the world is Nick Sirianni? You guys didn't know who he was. It was Frank. Can you imagine what an advantage that would be for Howie Roseman and for Sirianni and for Jeffrey Lurie to have a guy like Frank Reich in the building who knows all these young coordinators? Remember something. Frank was an NFL coordinator, I think, at 13 or 14 different jobs. He knows everybody. He knows everybody. I would want him in the building. Especially when you're going to, because what is going to happen at the end of this year? Let's go here with the greatest thing that could happen to the Eagles. They win the Super Bowl. What do you think is going to happen? You're going to lose both coordinators. You'll lose both coordinators, offense and defense. That's pretty standard. What happened in Tampa, Bowles ended up getting a job. Byron Leftwich turned down the Jags job. Thank God. Hey, I'd like to see thank God, too, when it comes to Jonathan Gannon. I hear you. Eagles would lose to the Jets. No, they wouldn't. Frank and Fangio, how would you like to have that at your coaching staff? Okay? How would you like to have that? So, all right, we're going to reset. Week 9 of the National Football League, guys, it was a really telling weekend. It was a really telling weekend. Hit the like button. Hour 3, keep it here on the National Football Show.
It's a fall car fest.